no strategy and only vibes. But Caitlin had this hunch, and all she said was, hey, lifespan in just an hour a week. So imagine with me, just imagine what it would feel like turning your content that you have already created into a traffic machine that sends people to your work over and over and over again without you having to spend a dime on ads. That is exactly what I'm going to show you today. So my goal today is very simple. It is to show you how to plug Pinterest into what you are likely already doing. You're going to get more traffic in less time. Let's get into it. Now, I have a gift for you. Time is my currency, and your time is so valuable to me. So, thank you so much for spending your time with me. If you stick with me until the end, I have got something for you for free. It is my ultimate Pinterest quick start guide. This is essentially a step by step walkthrough of everything we're covering today so that you can skip the note taking and actually implement this. Okay. I want you here and present with me. Now, if Pinterest feels brand new or a little bit intimidating, this guide is going to help. It's got a simple checklist to get you started, tips on getting your content in front of the right people and actually knowing what's working. Think of this as your quick start companion to everything we're going to cover today. And if you stick around, we are going to go super deep together. And then this guide will be sent to you at the end of this training. Now, I hope that we have met, but in case we've never met, my name is Jenna Kutcher. Over the last decade, I've helped over 28,000 entrepreneurs grow online using Pinterest without burning out. I am a Pinterest approved educator, which essentially means that Pinterest, the platform, actually trusts me to teach this stuff to you. My strategy takes 1 hour a week. It reaches over 2 million people a month. I've also created the Gold Digger podcast with over 116 million downloads. It's one of the top business podcasts out there. And here's what matters most. I have built a business that doesn't require me to be on all of the time. And that is exactly what I want to help you do too. Now, I did not always get Pinterest. Okay. Honestly, I used to laugh at the idea of using it strategically for business. Okay. I was using it for recipes that I definitely never cooked. I was building dream houses in my own mind. That was Pinterest to me until one question changed everything. So back in the day, this is what I tell my girls, back in the day, I was a wedding photographer and I was doing literally everything by myself, editing, posting, invoicing, marketing, all of it. If you are in that solopreneur life, can you type me in the chat? And I was white knuckling my business. There's no other way to describe it. And so I finally hired my first ever assistant. Her name was Caitlin. And we met at this small coffee shop with lattes in hand. And she looked at me and she goes, so what's Pinterest doing for your business right now? And I literally laughed. Like I actually belly laughed. I said, well, I use it to pin kitchens I'm never going to cook in and recipes I'm never going to make. And she smiled and she goes, no, Jenna, like what is Pinterest doing for your business? And that's when it hit me. Pinterest wasn't doing anything for my business, but there was a part of me that knew it could. So I thought that I was being strategic. Like I had this little cute little pin it button on my blog images, and I figured, well, that's surely enough, right? But that button, that was the entire strategy. That was the whole thing. I didn't have keywords. I didn't have plan. I just had a little bit of hope. And Pinterest wasn't really doing anything for me at the time. Caitlin saw something that I couldn't see. I was way too close to it. And she saw that I was sitting on a gold mine. And my goal today is for me to be your Caitlin. Okay. This is a real screenshot of my Pinterest profile from back in 2016. I had my boards named things like clothe me please and get in my tummy. You can clearly see there was literally no strategy and only vibes. But Caitlin had this hunch and all she said was, hey, can you send me your login info? And that tiny ask changed everything. So I basically handed over my password and was like, good luck. I didn't really expect anything. But then things started to shift. Now, let me just paint you a picture of who I was at the time and what my life looked like because I was totally maxed out. I was blogging, Instagram, Facebook groups, client work. I was the content creator, the marketer, the tech support, the CEO all at once. And so if you're thinking and you're nervous about today because there's this thought in your brain of like, I don't have time to add one more thing, I get it. I thought this same exact thing. But here's my question for you. What if this one thing actually took things off of your plate instead of adding to it? So Caitlin knew that Pinterest might be the missing piece. And so we got to work. We built a very simple strategy. We created this repeatable system. And for the first time, we were pinning with purpose, not just for fun, but for results. Here's what happened in my business. Year one, Pinterest became my number one traffic source. By year two, it had grown over 500%. And as you can see, it has just kept on compounding and compounding. That growth is what eventually earned me the title of approved Pinterest educator, named by Pinterest itself. But here's what I want you to see. This wasn't a hack. It wasn't a trend. The approach I started using 8 years ago still works today. Algorithm shifts, platform updates, trends that have come and went. None of it has broken what I've built. And that is the power of treating Pinterest differently than you're treating social media. And that's exactly why I'm so excited for what we're going to cover today. So if you're thinking, well, dang it, Jenna, I didn't start 8 years ago, I must be too late to this. You're not. Okay. Most people still aren't using Pinterest strategically. And that is a huge opportunity for you. Now, I have spent the last 8 years figuring out what actually works through every single trend and shift. And today, what you get is the shortcut. So I have a huge ask for you. Now, I am a girl with ADHD, okay? I have a million things on my mind, but all I'm asking for you to do is to shut the tabs, mute the noise that you can. This hour truly is about me and you together. I want this to be about your content, your traffic, your precious time. And so can you lock in? Type in the chat, locked in, if you are ready to lock in and move through this with me today. Because I'm going to talk fast, but you're going to listen faster. Okay. I see you there. So before we dive in, I want to hear from you, and I'm going to ask a few quick questions. Okay. All you have to do is type a yes or a no in the chat. It is as simple as that. And I want for you to be super honest, like go with that gut response. If these hit home, you are absolutely positively in the right place. So do you have a business or a dream that you're building, maybe something that you know could help people, but when it comes to Pinterest, you have no idea where to begin? Type in a yes if that's you. I'm seeing a lot of yeses flying in. Do you ever feel stuck on the content hamster wheel? Like you're pouring hours into something and then you hit publish and then what? Crickets. And before you can even catch your stinking breath, you're already creating the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. Type yes if this cycle is exhausting you. I get exhausted just reading this slide. Are you tired of spending hours on content only to have the algorithm decide if anyone is actually going to see it? Like you put in real effort and then 12 hours later, it's gone like it never existed. Type yes if that makes you want to scream into your pillow at night. Okay, so I see that you're here. You're with me. And these situations are things that you are experiencing in real time. And so let's talk about what makes Pinterest different. Now, the biggest mistake that people often make is that they treat Pinterest like social media, when guess what? It is not. Pinterest is a search engine, okay? Think of it like Google. And when you start treating it that way, literally everything changes. So let's be real. How do we actually use Pinterest? So you probably search things like how to plan a baby shower, recipes with ground turkey, outfits for fall family photos, decor ideas for small bedrooms, tips for starting a side hustle, right? Now think about it. If you search like that, your ideal audience is likely doing the same. And that's what makes Pinterest powerful. It's not just for scrolling and getting your attention captured. It is where people go to find answers and to take action. Now, most people use Pinterest passively, right? They are consumers on Pinterest. I think most of us on here are pinners and we like to consume the pins. People often scroll, they save different inspiration pieces, but Pinterest is not just a place for collecting inspiration. It is a publishing platform. So every single thing that you see and find on Pinterest was brought there by a user, literally someone who is just like you, who uploaded content, shared an idea, or posted something helpful. So the good news here is that we can shift you from being a consumer to being a creator, because you can bring your content onto Pinterest too. And when you do that strategically, you show up exactly where people are already searching for what you have to offer. Now, the good news here, Pinterest isn't here for our highlight reel. I mean, let's be honest. Does anyone's lives look like a highlight reel? I know mine doesn't. It's not about trends. It's not about dancing on the internet or constantly posting. Pinterest is a search engine. It is a visual form of Google. And when you start treating it that way, you go from hoping people are going to find you online to knowing that they will. So let me paint you a really quick picture. So I had this reel, it went viral. I had over 2 million views on it, nearly 28,000 likes. On paper, this baby looks like a total win, right? But when I started digging into the numbers, only 394 people clicked to my profile. That doesn't even mean that they followed. It doesn't mean they clicked to my website. That is a less than 0.02% click through rate. I didn't get new email subscribers. I didn't get any sales. I didn't get any long-term traffic. This was exciting, right? It was the dopamine hit that so many people are chasing, but it didn't move my business forward in the least. Now, check this out, okay? I want you to type in mind blown if this blows your mind. Here is a pin. I created this pin in February 2023. You do the math on how many years ago that was. I have not touched this pin since. In just the last 6 months, it has been seen over 227,000 times and driven 2,200 people directly to my site and my work. This isn't social media noise. It is compounding visibility. This is the power of being found, not just being seen. And it's not just being found, it's being found by the right person at the right time. Pinterest does not burn out your content. It keeps it burning. It keeps it working for you. And that pin is literally still working for me. I haven't touched it in 3 years. That is the kind of marketing that lets you step away. So here is the key difference here, okay? Social media wants to keep people on the app. Literally, that is their main objective. That is their measurement of success. How long can we keep people scrolling? Now, a search engine's main objective is to connect people with what they're searching for. Think of Pinterest as a bridge. Someone has a question, they bridge them over to the solution, which is something that you can provide. This can be your content, your offer, your website. That is a massive shift just in how the systems are built and how we can leverage them, right? And so think about this. Think about how much time you're spending on social media. The average person spends 2 to 3 hours creating one single reel for Instagram. And how long does it last? I'm about to show you. But when you start to do the math, you start to recognize, wow, the math is not mathing. This math doesn't work. Don't worry. I'm going to show you a math that does work today. Okay. Here is the really cold, hard truth. Okay, this is going to open your eyes. If you want to screenshot this slide to remind yourself where your time is going, this is it. So Instagram posts last about 24 hours, Facebook, 8 hours, TikTok, maybe a day, YouTube, 2 days if you're lucky, Twitter, 18 minutes. Guess what? A pin on Pinterest, one single pin on Pinterest will usually get half of its total engagement within the first 13 months and keep going after that. Same effort, radically different results. If you're looking at this as a CEO, where should your time be going? Is this starting to click for you here? So the good news here is that this isn't about tricking another algorithm or being trendy. It is about getting clear on what your dream clients are actually typing into that search bar. They are not scrolling aimlessly. They are searching with a purpose. And the question is, when they're searching, are they finding you? Well, if they're not, today is the day we change that. So imagine this. Imagine that somebody opens up Pinterest. They type in something like podcast tips or easy dinner recipes or outfits for a branding shoot. That moment right there, that is a chance for you to show up. This is the difference between hoping that people will stumble on your content and strategically placing it right where they are already looking. Okay. So let me paint the picture of what this actually looks like. Okay. So let's say someone opens up Pinterest. So maybe they're searching how to market my small business or nursery organization ideas or best gifts for new dads. They are not scrolling to kill time. They are looking for something specific, right? Then your pin shows up, it catches their eyes, they click. Now they're on your website, your blog, your product page, your freebie opt-in. Maybe they even choose to follow you on Instagram. One search, one pin, multiple different paths to conversion. And just like that, this person is in your world, subscribing, saving, and buying because you were there when they were looking. This works for every type of business owner. And I'm going to show you how this translates no matter what type of business you run. But the path is always the same. They search, they find you, they take action. Now, this isn't luck. This is not about going viral. This is positioning. And this is what makes Pinterest so powerful. So, as we start to dive into this thought and this idea of being creators on the platform, let's talk about the most important thing. So, the most important thing you can do on Pinterest is to consistently pin fresh and relevant content. What does this mean? Okay. When you create and publish high quality pins, even for past existing content. I'm talking about stuff you made a year, 2 years, 3 years ago. Pinterest will prioritize your pins in the feed, which means for you, more reach, more visibility, and more traffic for you. This is literally like the heartbeat of Pinterest. You don't have to pin constantly. You just need to pin consistently, and it's way easier than you think, okay? So this isn't about pinning 20 times a day or hustling to keep up, okay? We are not doing burnout marketing here, okay? You can start with literally just 1 to 2 fresh pins a day. That is literally enough to start gaining traction and build real momentum over time. And when I say fresh, I don't mean this needs to be brand new content. I mean just a new image or graphic linking to something that you've already created. This could be a blog post, a podcast episode, a product, an opt-in. Pinterest rewards consistency, and this is how small and steady efforts compound over real time. So, Pinterest, as a reminder, I'm going to show you examples of this in just a second, but Pinterest defines fresh as the graphic, not where you're sending it to, not the content. So what this means for you and why this is so important is this means that you can link to the same piece of content over and over and over again, as long as the pin itself looks new with a fresh image, headline, or color tweak. Pinterest is going to see that as fresh and brand new content. This is literally the easiest way to stay visible without constantly creating from scratch. So let that sink in really quick before we dive into examples. There is no limit to how many pins you can create for one single piece of content. So let's say you have a blog post. You can turn it into 5, 10, 20 pins, all leading back to the same page. You don't need to have a never-ending stream of new ideas. What you need is just a very smart system that helps you learn how to repackage what is already working. Isn't this exciting? Type in the chat how this makes you feel. This is literally how we're going to start creating visibility that lasts. So let's dive in to the specific business types. So if you run a service-based business, can you raise your hand? This could be a coach, a creative, a consultant, any type of service provider, a photographer, a stationery designer, right? Pinterest can help you reach the exact kind of people that you want to work with. So how does this work for you? If you run a service-based business, Pinterest is where people go when they're just starting to plan, okay? They are dreaming and researching and saving ideas, and that makes it the perfect place for service providers to show up early before they've made any decisions. So first, what you want to do is meet them at the start of their journey, so you can create work that guides your dream clients towards working with you before they even know that they need you. Like, you are essentially on there planting seeds. Second, you get to position yourself as the expert. So you can write super helpful, search-friendly content like how to choose your wedding photographer or the ultimate wedding timeline. You are not just showing your work, you are proving that you know what you're doing. And then third, you can use local keywords to get found in your specific area. So if someone searches Pittsburgh wedding photographer, you are the one who shows up. So let me show you what this actually looks like in action, okay? And really quick, if you're not a service provider, pay attention because there's good tips in all of these examples, okay? So I want to show you what this looks like. So I pulled out people from my community that are learning about Pinterest to just prove to them, hey, this can work for you. So this is Emma. And Emma runs Emma Craven Photography, which is a wedding and motherhood photography business on the East Coast. So for Emma, Pinterest is a chance to showcase her work, to get in front of couples and families who are actively searching for a photographer. So what we did is we created 3 different pin designs just to show her, hey, this is what this could look like for you. So the first pin is this. So it says wedding photography in Pittsburgh and beyond. And this is exactly the kind of thing that somebody might type into Pinterest when they're searching for a wedding or maternity photographer in Pittsburgh. Now, if you are a service provider, this is the magic. This type of pin gets you in front of the right person at the exact moment they are ready to book. Now, a second pin that we created for Emma is a testimonial. Testimonials are not just for your website. They make incredible pins, especially if you pair them with imagery that kind of shows your work. So now your happy client is doing all the selling for you right inside of the Pinterest feed. Now, lastly, Pinterest rewards fresh content, right? We just talked about this. Even if those pins all lead to the same place. So here's a smart move. All we did was just change up the color and the layout or the image while keeping the destination the same. All three of these pins could be pointing to the same spot, which could be Emma's website, a blog post, her pricing, her booking pages. You are literally just expanding your reach without creating more work for yourself. So here's where this gets really fun. And if you're a service provider, say me if you're starting to see how this could work. You can create endless pins for different aspects of your business. And this is where a tiny bit of creativity can go a long way. So here we're showcasing Emma's imagery, her different offerings, and some of her own brand messaging, all working together to reach more people. So what happens when a service provider actually puts all this into action? So this is Candace. She's a student in our community. She's a food photographer who felt completely stuck. Her pins weren't getting any traction. She had no idea how to turn her content into real traffic. Does that sound familiar to anyone? Once she started using the system, everything shifted. A year later, she is still getting consistent traffic from pins she created back then, and they just keep on working. And one of her pins landed her paid brand opportunities, a local TV feature, one pin, literally one pin that she made once, still opening doors for her even a year later. This is what happens when you stop guessing and start using a strategy that really works. Okay. Now let's dig on in to product-based businesses. If this is you, say me in the chat. This could be physical products. This could be digital products. So you might have a boutique. You might have an Etsy shop. You might make handmade goods or sell templates or planners. Pinterest can get your products in front of people who are actively searching for exactly what you offer. And here's what makes this so powerful. You are not interrupting anyone with a sales pitch. You are literally showing up right where buying decisions are already being made. So when it comes to selling products on Pinterest, it's not just about uploading all the images of what you sell. First, you want to show your product in action, not just like on a plain white background, but in somebody's real life. I'm talking a candle on a cozy nightstand or a digital planner open on a desk next to a cup of coffee. Let people imagine your product in their world. Then position your product as the solution. Pair it with how-to content that solves a real problem. Again, you're not just selling something, you are showing them why they need it. And then finally, use the exact words your buyers are already searching. When you do that, Pinterest connects the dots for you. Your product shows up right when somebody is ready to buy. This is how you make your product searchable, valuable, and buyable all in one pin. So this is a product-based business. This is Memory from our community, and we wanted to pull some inspiration so that she could start to imagine how this could work for her Etsy shop that sells handmade jewelry called Memory & Co. Now, Pinterest is a huge opportunity to get her products in front of people who are searching for what she makes. So here's what this could look like. So instead of just saying, buy this, show your audience how your product makes their life easier. Okay, so this pin right here highlights a specific part of Memory's business, which is bridesmaid gifts. And think about who's searching for that, right? Someone who's planning their wedding. They're looking for a way to thank their best friends. So she is going to be thrilled to find a pin like this. Again, you're not just selling, you're literally solving a problem, and that builds trust and gains the click. Next, client reviews. They make incredible pins, especially when they include words that your future customers are already searching for. So this testimonial mentions the words necklace and durable. This is literally the exact kind of language that people are typing into Pinterest. So now you've got social proof and discoverability working together in one pin. And then lastly, Pinterest rewards freshness. So do not be afraid to create multiple pins for the same product. Here we use a different image, switched up the background color, tweaked the title, same product, same destination, but now we've got multiple chances to reach a buyer instead of one. So what's exciting about this is you can go beyond the obvious. So here we looked at other aspects of Memory's business to create even more pins. We pulled from beautiful lifestyle imagery that she has already created in her Etsy listings, and we pulled from the brand messaging in her about section. And the cool thing here to remember is you don't just have a product, like you have a story. Memory is proud to run a multi-generational woman-owned business, and that matters also to her customers. And so you get to highlight your products, your heart, your values, your why. Those can all become pins with the right people that will connect with the right people. So What happens when a product seller actually puts this into action? Well, meet Jackie. So Jackie is a student in our community. She's an artist and an art teacher who used Pinterest casually, but never thought it could actually grow her business. She also was not sure she had the time. Does that sound familiar? Once she started following the system, everything changed. Today, she gets 1.23 million impressions, over 7,000 outbound clicks to her work and website. She has tripled her email list in under 2 months, and Pinterest is now her number one source of website traffic. But here's the part I really want you to hear. Those pins are still driving results long after she's created them. She's not starting from scratch every single day. She's not chasing an algorithm. She has built something that keeps working for you. Imagine Jackie's success in your own life. All right, last section. If you run an online business, raise your hand, say me in the chat. If you are a coach, a course creator, a podcaster, a YouTuber, an educator, Pinterest can be one of the best tools for getting more eyes on what you are already creating. So think about everything you've made or everything you plan to make. It could be blog posts, lead magnets, podcast episodes, free trainings, right? All of that content has a way longer shelf life when you pin it. So instead of constantly chasing the algorithm, hoping today's post gets seen before it disappears, your content keeps showing up right when somebody's searching for it, months, even years later. Let me show you how this could work. So if you run an online business, Pinterest is one of the best ways to meet your audience before they even realize that they need you. So think about it. Somebody types a question into Pinterest and your content is the answer. They might not even know your name yet. They might have never heard of your brand, but you just showed up with exactly what they needed. This is how you start building the know, like, and trust factor. Every pin is a chance to show up, to educate, to prove that you get them and you're not just pitching to them, you're helping. This helps build trust faster than any sales page ever could. And when you show your face or your voice or you share your story, that is literally when you become the voice that they follow. So when they are ready to take that next step, you're not one of many options. You are the one that they already trust. So here is Catherine from our community. We wanted to help her imagine what Pinterest could look like for her. So she is a therapist turned coach and a podcast host. She has a wealth of content and expertise. Pinterest could help her get all of it in front of the exact people who need it the most. And here's how this could look. So Catherine offers coaching calls, but instead of just saying book a call, we created this pin because it leads with the problem her ideal client is actively searching for. So it says, you don't have to stay in the anxiety spiral. This is literally the kind of headline that stops a scroll and gets a click. Now her service is showing up right when someone needs it the most. Next, people connect with people. So when you use a photo of yourself in your pins, you're not just building brand recognition, you are building trust. So think about it. Somebody keeps seeing your face over and over again, and it's attached to helpful, valuable content. It creates that, like, I feel like I know them effect. And that matters when they're deciding who to follow, who to trust, and who to buy from. Now, the cool thing about Pinterest is this is also very easy to test. So you could literally create one version of the same pin, one with a photo of you and one with a stock photo, and see which one gets the click. This isn't just about visibility, it's about credibility as well. Now, lastly, infographics perform so well on Pinterest. They're visual, skimmable, and instantly helpful. So if you're a content creator, you're likely already thinking in terms of checklists and things like that. So you could break down a process, share a list of tips, give somebody a mini roadmap. These are the pins that stop a scroll and get saved. And here's why this matters. You are then positioning yourself as helpful before somebody even has to click off of the platform. They are already getting value just by looking at your pin, and that builds trust so fast. So here's what this could look like for Catherine. Catherine has a lot of different offers, which, by the way, I love about Pinterest. You do not have to put yourself in a box. You do not have to be hyper niche. And I think that having a lot of different offers is actually a huge advantage on Pinterest. And so here we showcase how to highlight different aspects of her brand, from her podcast to her coaching to her courses, all while keeping a very consistent visual identity. So no matter which pin somebody finds, it feels just like her, and every offer becomes another doorway back to her business. So if you are an online-based business or a content creator, can you type me if you're starting to imagine what this could look like for you? This is what happens when an online business owner puts this into action, okay? Meet Sari. So she is a student in our community. She was super overwhelmed. Like, she was intimidated by a new platform. She didn't think she had time to learn Pinterest. But once she started this system, everything changed. She went from 0 to 34,000 followers and 100,000 monthly views. And now her content is driving traffic daily, not just to Pinterest, but to her website, her blog, her other platforms. It is literally all connected. It is one system feeding everything. This is what's possible when you stop guessing and start using a strategy that works. So, how does this simple shift change everything? So, first, this is my favorite part about it. You get to stop focusing on creating content that could go viral or that could hook somebody in. And you get to start focusing your energy and time on creating content that your dream clients are already searching for. You also get to think about, how can I be purposeful using the words that my ideal audience is looking for and creating pins that lead straight to your content. You also get to shift your focus from being found to being followed. You do not need to worry about being followed. All you want to do is get found. And you get to say goodbye to the algorithm hustle and hello to search powered growth. When you treat Pinterest like a visual search engine, you stop chasing things like followers and you start showing up in a brand new way. This is literally the power of search powered growth. It is not about doing more. It is about making what you already have work harder for you. Okay. That is what Pinterest does. It sends the right people straight to your digital doorstep. And so, what I love about this is that we don't have to worry that we're not doing enough. You are probably doing more than enough right now, even if your results aren't showing it. And so, here's the hard truth. Most of us have had to learn this the very hard way, right? You can create the most amazing blog post, the most amazing freebie or product, but if you don't lead people to it, they're not going to find it, right? We have been told the lie, if you build it, they will come. But come from where, right? Most platforms are designed to keep people on them. Instagram, TikTok, they do not want you leaving. They don't want your audience leaving either. So you are constantly creating content that is literally trapped in a system that was never designed to move people forward to your work. That is why this is different. You don't just get traffic, you get a path from pin to content, from content to connection, from connection to conversion. That is what actually grows a business. And the cool thing here is that traffic isn't the finish line, it's the starting line. The real goal is to create a path for that person once they land, from blog post to freebie, from podcast to offer, from pin to product. This is how random traffic becomes real results. So I want for you to think about your time. And I want for you to do a quick time inventory. Like, be really honest with yourself. Think about the times you're sitting on the couch. Just one more post. I've got to create something today. The nights you go to bed and you feel guilty that you didn't publish anything. Think about all the precious time you've already invested on Instagram posts, products, freebies, offers, blog posts. That content probably already exists on the internet, right? And here's where Pinterest stands out. You're not just publishing to be seen. You are intentionally connecting each piece of content to the next step in your business. And so let's talk about what traffic can actually do when it is strategic. What do those eyeballs turn into? Sales, followers and subscribers, downloads, listeners, readers, collaborations, and bookings. This is essentially traffic with a job, right? It shows up and it does the heavy lifting, but only if you've built the system to catch it and convert it. So this is the shift right here that most people never make, but you are not going to be most people. Most people stop at vanity metrics. So they focus so much on likes, saves, and views, but not us. We want our effort to actually move the needle. Pinterest isn't just a place to be seen. It's where strategy meets intention. You are not posting and praying. You are guiding people on the path. Pinterest literally becomes the entry point to your customer journey, and that's what creates real results. So the best part is that I get to be your Caitlin. You are probably already sitting on a gold mine. You likely already have content that is waiting to work harder for you. These are not old pieces of content collecting dust. They are literally untapped traffic magnets. And when you use Pinterest strategically, those pieces start reaching new people, showing up in search and driving results. No extra content creation required, just smart strategy on top of what already exists. So let's break this down as simple as possible. And you definitely do not need to have a very complex funnel. You don't have to have a 42-step strategy before your brain gets ahead of where we are. You just need to learn how to leverage what you probably already got. So the goal here isn't about making content, it's about maximizing it. When we think about time, money, energy, creativity that has gone into our work, we want to make sure it gets seen and experienced more than once by more than just a handful of people. And so instead of letting old content collect digital dust, here's what we're going to do. We are going to stretch it in as many ways as possible. We want it to show up in more searches, get clicked on by more people, and keep working long after we have already moved on to our next idea, right? This starts with a very simple strategy, which is multiple pins, all pointing to one destination. So, if you have got something clickable, this could be a podcast, a product, even an Instagram post, anything with a unique URL, you have everything you need to get started. If you have any of those things, literally anything, a website, a blog, a product, an Etsy listing, can you just type in me? Because this is going to apply to you. It doesn't have to be fancy. It just needs to be live on the internet, clickable, and something that will serve your audience, because every great pin is just the start of a path that leads back to you. So traffic can go to all sorts of places. And the cool thing with Pinterest is you are in control of where you are sending it to. So it can go to a website, a blog post, a podcast episode, a YouTube video, a freebie opt-in page, a landing page, an affiliate page, a wait list, a sales page, your Instagram post. Literally, you can send it anywhere. You get to control where people are being led on the platform. And so I don't want to talk about it anymore. I want to show you how simple this can be. You are about to see how I take just one piece of content and turn it into 10 high-performing pins. And the best part about this whole process is it takes just minutes. So this is a piece of content I chose. It is a blog post. Now, I am of the train of thought, work smarter, not harder. So my blog consists of show notes, AKA episode outlines from my podcast. So I have already created this for one platform. I'm bringing it onto my blog. This is one single URL, one single piece of content. Now, I make 10 unique graphics for that piece of content that literally gives me 10 different doors into the same room. This is fresh, it's strategic, and it's giving this one piece of content months, even years of longevity, and it takes just minutes to do. So first, I create a graphic, and guess what? I actually just stole this graphic from the blog. It was already made, and it's going to scoot on over to Pinterest. It's a photo of me with the title of the episode. Then I test a plain background with a bold title, clean and minimal for a modern eye-catching scroll. This is literally a few clicks to create. Then I take that initial graphic, swap out the photo of me, drop in a stock photo, match my vibe with a styled visual from my content niche, and bada bing, bada boom, number 3 is done. Same message, new visual. It feels totally fresh in the feed. It took me 1 second to change. Then I take the title and I call out a specific audience. Everything on search engines are clickable. And so keywords are important here. So you can speak directly to one group to increase your clicks and conversion. Then I tweak this for another niche or audience, just a sub audience within my general community. Adjust the wording, resonate with a different segment. Then I do another audience variation, another pin. This is another chance for a person to say, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I need. Then you can try to test a totally different headline. You can test curiosity, emotion, benefit-based hooks. You can boost saves, and you can even get data on what title works better. You can pull a powerful quote from your content. A shareable quote pin can drive saves and long-term visibility. And you can turn your content into a list or graphic, infographics, tips, step-by-steps. All of these make incredible pins. So can you see one piece of content, 10 completely unique pins, same content, different visuals, different angles. Each one is a fresh opportunity to get found. And this took me minutes using templates, not hours. So imagine just taking maybe 5 of your top pieces of content. That is 50 pins that can be working for you around the clock. Can you see how easy that was, right? Every single one of those pins is leading back to the same post. It is literally just one piece of content reimagined in 10 different ways. I didn't have to create anything new from scratch. I just gave the same message a few new outfits. And that is the beauty of Pinterest, right? And so let's be real. Most of us don't have hours every single day to be creating brand new content. So this is the smarter play. Instead of always starting from scratch, take something that you've already made. It could be literally anything that you've made, and breathe new life into it with a few strategic pins. Again, this is a reminder. This is a relief. You don't need more content. You just need more mileage out of the stuff you've already done. So here's what most people don't realize. You are sitting on a gold mine. If you just took some of your top performing content and started to imagine all the pins you could create, you could have so many different paths leading people to the places you own on the website so you can convert them. So Pinterest math is different than the other algorithms math. One post, 10 fresh pins. That's 10 unique ways to show up and get found, 10 doorways to your content. You literally just watch me do it. And honestly, the cool thing is 10 is just the beginning. You could create 20, even 30 variations without breaking a sweat. Now let's take it a step further. Let's say you have 10 pieces of content, blog posts, podcast episodes, product pages, freebies, and you create just 5 fresh pins for each. That is 50 unique chances to get discovered, 50 different doorways for people to find your work. This would be an entire month's worth of content for the platform. And this is exactly how small efforts add up to big results on Pinterest. Type in the chat, are you starting to see how this works? Now, I want to shift gears for a quick second because I know you might be thinking, well, this sounds great, but I have barely any time to breathe. Like I can't add another platform. Trust me when I say I felt the exact same way. I used to be the queen of showing up everywhere. Reels, posts, carousels, captions, stories, you name it, I could crank it out until I had a baby. I remember sitting in a rocking chair at 3 a.m., exhausted in a way that I didn't even know existed, and thinking, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, I can't do this, and I don't want to do this anymore. And so I stopped. I stepped back from social. I was scared that, like, is everything going to collapse if I'm not performing every single day? And I had to get really honest about where my time was best spent. Here's what happened. Nothing happened. My traffic held, my offers kept selling, people kept finding me because Pinterest was working while I wasn't. The pins I had made months earlier were still driving traffic, still converting, still showing up in search. I had been spending hours on content that died in 24 hours when I could have been focusing all of my time and energy on something that lasts. That was my wake-up call, and I hope that today is yours. It hit me then and there that building a Pinterest system that consistently drove traffic on autopilot was the most effective way to get eyes on my offers without sacrificing my precious non-renewable time. Like that is when everything shifted for me. I didn't need to be on all the time. I just needed a system that could work in the background. And once I built it, you better believe I never looked back and I shared it with the world. So let me show you what I mean here. These pins I created literally years ago. Podcast episodes, blog posts, content I made once and haven't touched since. That motherhood pin in the middle, January 2022, 55,000 impressions, over 4,000 clicks, and it is still going. The business content, same story. Thousands of impressions, hundreds of clicks in just the last 6 months alone from things I created 2 and even 3 years ago. Like since publishing those pins, I have published hundreds more episodes. I've moved on to brand new projects. I've lived my life, and these are still working. That is the difference between renting attention and owning assets. Okay. Posting on social media is like planting a garden full of annual flowers. They are beautiful for a season, but guess what? They fade so fast, and you have to keep digging and replanting and pouring in time and money and energy just to keep it blooming. Being on Pinterest is like having a garden full of perennials. They last, they grow, they bloom year after year after year. They show up without constant replanting. You get to plant once and enjoy the benefits for a long time. That is the kind of content strategy that Pinterest makes possible. Now, the average business owner is spending 20 hours a week on marketing. Social media is literally the hamster wheel. Pinterest is the search engine that converts. And here's all I'm asking for: 1 hour a week. That is literally all it takes to build this system that works while you rest. So let me ask you something. Are you starting to picture what this could actually look like in your life? Because if you are someone who wants to be in business 6 months, 1 year, 5 years from now, then this strategy is about traffic that continues to serve long after you publish it. So I'm going to go into the woo for a minute. I'm the where the woo meets the work, and I'm going to ask you to do something. Nobody can see you. And so all I'm going to ask you to do is to close your eyes with me for the next 60 seconds. Okay. I'm dead serious. Close your eyes, take a breath, get in your body, and come with me. It's a random Tuesday, and you wake up before your alarm. You don't have panic. You don't have dread. You make your coffee. You open up your laptop just to check in. You have 2 new email subscribers overnight. Someone bought your offer at 1 in the morning. You got a DM from a stranger saying, I found you on Pinterest and I think you're exactly what I need. You didn't post yesterday. You didn't show up anywhere. You were actually folding laundry. You went to bed at 9:30. Feel that feeling in your chest, that quiet, the ease, the proof that your business is working without you. Now, zoom out. It's been 3 months since you built this system. You haven't touched Instagram in weeks and you don't miss it. And you also don't feel guilty. Your content is out there working. It's bringing people in while you're at the park with your kids, while you're on a Thursday afternoon coffee date, while you are doing nothing at all. Feel what it is like to not owe the internet your presence every single day, to not have to perform for your paycheck. And now feel who you've become. You're not the burned out business owner posting into the void. You're not questioning if any of this is actually worth it. You built something that lasts, something that works while you live. You are calm. You are confident. You trust your business to show up for you because you have built it to. Now, what I want you to do is open your eyes. That is what's possible. That feeling, that is not pretend. That is not someday, maybe. That is available to you now. Now, I know I just threw a lot at you. Pin designs, content strategy, the math of visibility. It probably feels like drinking from a fire hose. And so let me make this simple. What's missing isn't more hustle. You are working so hard. It is a system that takes what you've already built and puts it to work while you live your life. And this is what I want to show you how to build. So the question is, how do you build this? Not just know about it, but build it. Not just be inspired, not just ideas, but a system, one that saves you time and removes the guesswork and gives you a clear path from content to traffic to results. That is what I have built, and it is called the Pinterest Lab. And if it is cool with you, I would love to show you what's inside. Do I have your permission to carry forward? Say yes in the chat. All right. Module 1 is all about understanding your ideal client through a Pinterest lens, how they search, what they're looking for, how to show up for them. You will get the full framework for keyword strategy, for profile optimization, making sure that every single pin is built to attract the right person. This is the foundation. Everything else builds on. Module 2 is where you build your content engine. You're going to learn what to pin, when to pin it, and how to turn a single piece of content into 10 fresh pins, just like I showed you today. I break down the anatomy of a high-performing pin, the graphics, the titles, the descriptions. You are never guessing what is going to make something click-worthy. Module 3 is about turning traffic into treasure, because traffic alone is great, but traffic that actually does something, that is literally the goal. Module 3 maps out the full journey from somebody finding your pin to landing on your site to taking action. I also show you how Pinterest plugs into everything else you're doing, your email list, social media, offers. I don't want this to be another thing on your plate. I want it to be working alongside what you've already built. And module 4, this gives you the machine, okay? We take everything and we plug it into a system that actually runs scheduling, automating, maintaining without it taking over your life, because more traffic should not mean more stress, okay? It should mean more time. So I'm going to show you how to dig into the numbers. I'm going to show you what metrics matter and how to know if what you're doing is actually working. This is basically your CEO dashboard of Pinterest, because when you can measure it, you can scale it. And this is how this becomes a sustainable, low lift, high reward part of your business. Now, the entire course is around 4 hours in total. You can literally Netflix binge it in a day, or you can implement it slowly in your own timing. I am handing you done for you templates and strategies to make this the easiest shift into growth you've ever had in your business. Now, that's the core system, but I know your brain, and it might be asking some questions like, what if I don't know what to use? And what if I don't have enough content? And will this actually lead to results or just views? I have thought of all of it, so you don't have to, okay? So let me show you how I've already solved every single question. So first, what do I actually create? What words do I use? This bundle answers all of it. There's a keyword organizer. It keeps your traffic driving words in one place, so you never have to start from scratch. The research worksheet shows you exactly what your audience is already searching for, and the content idea generator turns that research into your next highest converting content ideas. You don't have to stare at a blank screen. You don't have to guess. You will know exactly what to create and why it will work. Next, Jenna, I don't have a ton of content to work with. Well, guess what? You don't need a ton. You need this. This is the 10x content multiplier. It shows you how to take one single blog post, podcast episode, or page and turn it into 10, 20, even 30 different pins, all driving traffic back to a domain that you own. One piece of content, dozens of entry points. That is literally leverage. And then there's a question behind all of the other questions. Will this actually lead to real results? The conversion flow guide maps exactly how pins become paying customers, not just views, not just clicks, actual conversions. This is how you connect the dots from somebody just finding you on Pinterest to somebody buying from you. Last question. What if I get stuck? Well, guess what? I'm not going to make you do this alone. When you join the Pinterest Lab, my team and I are in there walking with you every step of the way. We will guide you through the program so you don't get stuck or overwhelmed. You'll have space to ask real questions, get feedback, and stay in momentum. Plus, you will be surrounded by students who have been exactly where you are and who are so ready to cheer you on. It is the kind of support that keeps you moving forward, not spinning your wheels. Now, lastly, I'm so excited about this. If you're drifting off, pay attention. Inside of the Pinterest Lab, you will get PinPal. This is my AI assistant trained on everything. I'm talking 8 years of strategy, all of the internal systems, the entire course curriculum. So if you are someone and you need help brainstorming pin titles, ask PinPal. If you get stuck on keywords, PinPal. Tech question at 11 p.m., PinPal's got you. It is literally like hiring me to be your personal Pinterest strategist in your back pocket 24/7 who knows the entire system inside and out. This alone is valued at $647, and we are including it free when you join. Now, on top of PinPal, we also have our AI support pack. So this is a guide of prompts and workflows that pair perfectly with the course so that AI can be a piece that supports your content creation. So here is everything waiting for you inside of the Pinterest Lab. We've got the core modules plus all the bonuses, the Pinterest content vault, the 10x content multiplier, the Pinterest conversion flow guide, access to our community, our AI PinPal assistant, plus the AI support pack, all waiting for you inside of the course. So let's talk about what this costs. The total value of everything inside of the Pinterest Lab is well over $2,000. You will not be paying that, okay? It's not even going to cost you $997, even though it is absolutely worth that. You can join today for just $397. That's right. $397 gets you the full system, the bonuses, the support, the AI PinPal, and lifetime access. Now, if you'd like to do a payment plan, I've broken it into 12 payments. Today, your first installment is only $39 with 11 additional monthly installments of $39 to follow. You can get started today. Everything is waiting for you in the members area for just $39. We have made it as easy as possible for you to get really big results at a great value. So if you are ready to lock in, head to thepinterestlab.com. When you get to thepinterestlab.com, you're going to see all the information you'll need about the program. But what I would love for you to do is just scroll down and you'll see the two options for payment. Choose the option that works best for you, and you're going to be taken to the order form, which takes just minutes to fill out. Once you do that, give us about 10 to 15 minutes and you'll get an email welcoming you into the Pinterest Lab. You can literally get started and log into the member area. Everything is available right now for you. You can start in just minutes. Now, if you join before this training ends, you will also get my 20 top converting pin templates as a fast action bonus. These are the exact templates we use, the ones that drive clicks, the ones that I've used throughout this entire presentation today. All you've got to do is drop in your titles and your colors, and you've got design content ready to share. This alone will save you hours of time, okay? On top of that, you're also going to get 20 professional stock photos from Elevate Visuals. Between the templates and these photos, you've got over a month of pin designs literally taken care of for you. This bonus is only available while I am still on this training, okay? Now, I want for you to feel 100% comfortable walking into this. We have a 30-day money-back guarantee. If you do the work, if you put in the time and you don't see the needle move on your Pinterest strategy, show me you gave it a real shot and we will refund you in full. I fully, wholeheartedly believe in this system because I've seen it work over and over and over again. And we have a less than 1% refund rate across the board on all of my programs. And so this is a risk free trial. If you need to jump in and you're feeling like I need protection, I've got you. Now, another thing I want you to know is when you get to the PinterestLab.com, we have an opportunity for you to get support if you need it. So if you have a question, if you want to make sure this is right for you, you can chat with me and my incredible team at thepinterestlab.com, or you can email us at support@jennakutcher.com. We are so happy to answer any questions that you might have and to help you make the best decision for you and for your business. So here's a question for you. If all this did was give you a channel to consistently drive traffic, I'm talking eyeballs and real humans to your work, getting it in front of the people you are creating it for, would that be worth it to you? I know it would be for me. If all this did was teach you my set it and forget it style strategy that can be tackled in 1 hour a week and can save you hours of your precious time, would that be worth it? I know my time is absolutely worth it. If all this did was give you a strategy that allowed your work to live on and generate results for you long after you hit publish, would that be worth it for you? Here's where we are. You have spent the last hour learning a completely different way to market your work. You have seen that there is another path, one that doesn't require you to show up and be on every single day just to stay visible. You can take what you've learned here and you can try to piece it together on your own. That is absolutely an option. Or you can let me walk you through the whole system, step by step by step, with every template, tool, and shortcut I've built over the last 8 years. 1 hour a week and a system that works while you live your life. The choice is yours. Now, take it from Stephanie. She said, before I joined the Pinterest Lab, I felt lost in the social media space. I loved looking at Pinterest, but had no idea that this was an untapped source to grow my audience. I started from scratch and skyrocketed to 5,000 views in the first month, and now I'm at 76,000 views per month. This gave me the confidence to share my passion with my audience. Stephanie teaches women to reverse diabetes, which is one of the most prevalent yet least understood among patients. So if you're thinking that your topic is too niche, take it from Stephanie. This has been an amazing channel for her. Here's what Nicole had to say. She said, I focus mostly on Instagram for growth. I was pretty uninspired to use Pinterest. I chose to invest in the Pinterest Lab because Jenna is a step-by-step teacher who is interested in long-term growth, which is important. Since implementing, we have grown our Pinterest account from 0 to nearly 100,000 subscribers and up to 1 million monthly views. Here's this. Listen to this. We get the same amount of monthly traffic from Pinterest as Instagram with 1/100th of the effort. Imagine just 1% of the effort you're putting on other platforms and getting the same results. This is possible for you. Or take it from KJ, who's a food blogger. She said, before I joined the lab, I used Pinterest as my personal inspo board for things I never got around to. I never knew the full potential that was sitting at my fingertips, waiting for my business to come to life. Jenna's passion gave me the comfort, and I'm so glad I took this course. After implementing and revamping my profile, I was able to go from 0 business followers to now reaching over 200,000 monthly viewers on Pinterest. The continued traffic back to my website has helped me reach milestones such as getting approved for an ad agency, growing my team, and continual growth in my daily, monthly, and yearly recipes, or yearly viewers finding my recipes. Imagine, like, people actually finding your work. That's awesome. As a reminder, you can get started right now for just $39 with 11 additional monthly installments to follow, or you can pay in full. You can do a one-time payment of $397 for the best price. Again, 12 installments of $39. You can get started right now at thepinterestlab.com. Here's a quick reminder of everything that is waiting for you the moment you join. All 4 modules, the keyword organizer, the content generator, the 10x positioning prompt, the conversion flow guide, the research worksheet, our 24/7 AI assistant pin pal, plus AI support pack, and our private community. It is all yours the second you're in. So when you jumped onto this training an hour ago, maybe you're thinking, I am so exhausted from the constant content creation game. I get it, because that exhaustion isn't because you're not working hard enough. I need you to hear me. You are working harder than you should. It is because social media is designed to keep you running. Pinterest is different. You're not performing for an algorithm that forgets you in 24 hours. You are planting content where people are actively searching for what you offer. One pin posted once, working for months. The Pinterest Lab will show you how to create less and get more so that you can finally step off of the hamster wheel. Or maybe you're thinking, I can't add one more thing to my plate. You're building your business in nap time pockets or answering emails while you're stirring dinner. The thought of another platform feels impossible. Let me be clear about what I'm asking you for. 1 hour a week. No daily posting, no stories, no engagement requirements, no algorithm punishing you for taking a day off. You spend an hour planting pins and then you get to go live your life while they keep working. This is not another thing that takes from you. This is the thing that gives back your time. Or maybe you're sick of paying to be seen. Organic reach on all the other platforms is basically dead. You're literally lucky if 10% of your own followers even see what you're posting unless you boost it and unless you pay. And the second you stop paying, the traffic stops too. You are renting attention and the rent keeps going up. Here's what's different. 97% of Pinterest searches are unbranded, meaning people aren't looking for specific brands or businesses. They're looking for solutions and they're in a spendy mood. They're ready to take action. Inside of the Pinterest Lab, I will show you how to show up for those searches for free consistently. No more renting attention. You get to own your traffic. And lastly, maybe you're just tired of pouring hours into content that disappears. You spend 3 hours on that reel and 48 hours later, it is gone, buried, and now you have to do it all over again. It is literally like filling up a bathtub with the drain open, okay? Here is the shift. The average Instagram post lives 48 hours. The average pin lives 13 plus months. Content you can create once and literally forget about can still be working. And inside of the course, you're going to learn to create content that compounds. Every pin is a seed that keeps growing. You can finally stop running on the treadmill and start building something that lasts. So, before we dive into the Q&A, if you are ready to join us right now, please head to thepinterestlab.com, thepinterestlab.com. Now, as a reminder, if you join while we are still on this training, you will get our 20 most used, highest converting pin designs as a simple, easy template that you can quickly edit and publish. These templates will literally save you hours of time and allow you to follow my strategy for turning one piece of content into 10 pins super quickly and easily. They are so worth it. And with that, let's dive on in to a Q&A. Oh my gosh, I'm seeing you guys in the chat. I'm so excited. Okay. Thank you guys so much for being with me. This means the world to me. Okay. So Caitlin says, does this work if you need your audience to be local, i.e. driving to a newsletter blog for Chicago families? So yes, this can absolutely work if you are creating with a local area in mind. So for example, when I started on Pinterest, I was a wedding photographer in the Milwaukee, Madison area. So I lived in a village of 1,200 people and I was serving kind of those greater cities. And so what was amazing and what's so crazy about it is I started shifting the way I was creating and started thinking, okay, what are brides in my area searching for? So they're searching for Milwaukee, Wisconsin wedding venues, Madison, Wisconsin wedding venues, Wisconsin wedding timelines, Wisconsin vendors that you approve. What was amazing is it started having me creating actual solutions. It has shaped my entire career where I am creating from a place of what does somebody actually need and how do I create a resource that answers it? And so since Pinterest is a visual search engine, every single word on the platform is searchable, right? And so that's why we want to treat it like SEO, search engine optimization, and use keywords. And so the way you get found if you have a local business is by using local keywords. And trust me when I say people are searching for local keywords, and it's an amazing way to get your work found. Kara says, how long will it take to start getting engagement? I'm getting some impressions, fairly minimal, but no engagement. So this is what I love about Pinterest. So in our world that is so immediate gratification and filled with dopamine hits that keep us addicted, Pinterest is a long game. And that doesn't mean anything bad. It actually means a lot of good things. So when you think about things like compounding interest, right, where we all hear like your money doubles every 7 years, the same thing goes for Pinterest. So I have led students and within a week, they start to see their stuff bounce upwards in terms of spiking because now guess what? They've set up their profile correctly. They are starting to use it not as a consumer, but as a creator. So some spikes can happen super fast with a few subtle tweaks that are very important to have in your profile. But the beautiful thing is that every time you are creating and sharing on Pinterest, you are creating this compounding effect because your work is living on for months. And so it's a long game in a good way, meaning that it can sometimes take a month, 2 months, 3 months to get real traction on there. But the work that you're doing in those first 90 days is still going to be working for you a year from now, right? And that is the most beautiful piece of it. I always say, slower growth, deeper roots. And that is what I want to teach people. I think that we are so quick to chase trends that don't work the next day, and we're starting from scratch. And we're so quick to just start from scratch every single day, which leads us to burnout, that I want to teach a different way. Think of like less force, more flow. That's what I think of. Like, if we were going to let our marketing be easy, this strategy is the ease that we want to invite into our lives. Cami says, some people say Pinterest is saturated. Is this true? No, because if you are creating content that answers your ideal audience's questions and you're using the keywords so that they can find it, they're going to find you. I don't think it's saturated at all. And I have not actually found that to be a problem. So I think that people saying that might be using it as a consumer, but they're not actually seeing the power of using it as a creator. But no, I don't. I actually very much disagree with that. Marlana, I said the slower the growth, the deeper the roots. Like, think of a tree growing. Dennis asks, my services for professionals, designers and photographers. Do businesses and professionals use Pinterest to find people like me? Absolutely. Dennis, I'm not sure what your service is, but we've had a lot of people that do, say, like brand photography, or they do website design, or they do brand design. Oh my gosh, it is like a beautiful pool of inspiration on there that so many people are going on to create mood boards, to get inspired, to plan out their next steps as business owners. So absolutely, positively, businesses and professionals are on Pinterest. Evelyn asks, should we have a certain amount of offers before driving customers to our website? No, you should be driving people to your site every single day. What good is a website if nobody is seeing it, if it's not doing its job? Like, your website is your home, your space on the web. And if people aren't landing on it, it's not doing anything for you. Your website should be like a 24/7 salesperson that never asks for a raise and never gives up. Okay. And so if you have a website and nobody's landing on it, it's not doing its job. And it's not your website's fault. It's a fault that you're not getting eyeballs onto it. So you do not have to have any certain amount of offers. You could literally just be sending them to your page, and your website has the job of converting those folks once they land there. Okay, Martha asks, how effective is Pinterest for B2B businesses? Super effective. That's, essentially how I use it to this day. My business is teaching other business owners how to market, right? I am living proof that B2B works incredibly well on Pinterest. I have an honor of doing something that I absolutely love doing, and that is welcoming new folks into the course. And as I read your name here, if I say your name and you've jumped in, can you do me a favor and comment in the chat and tell me what you will do with the time you are about to get back in your life? Now, I am a huge believer that time is our currency. Like, time is our most non-renewable resource, right? We can always go out and earn more money, but we can't get back our time. And from a very young age, I've lived this way, which is why I think I've always been a bit of a bear when it comes to investing in learning and knowledge, because I see that I can pay to learn something once and I get to reap the benefits over and over and over again because I trust myself to follow through and do the work. And so when I read your name, pop into the chat and tell me what you're going to do with your time, because here's what's going to happen. You are going to learn this system. It takes 4 hours to learn the system. You have already been with me for over an hour. You could already be a quarter of the way through the course, right? You're already spending things and you're not realizing you're spending your time on strategies that might not be working. And so when you join this and you start to see, wow, you can get much bigger and longer results in a smaller amount of time, you're about to get your time back. You're about to get a part of your life back. So welcome on in to Cody and Nicole. Welcome to Brenda, Nancy, and Amy. Welcome Emily, Jessica, Sarah. Welcome into Amira and Stacy. Welcome into Nina and Deborah. Welcome Terry, Janie, Crystal, and Melina. Welcome into Kathleen, Aisha, Christina, Jasmine, Renee. Welcome into Colleen and Dawn. Welcome into Alyssa and Nikki. Welcome Denise, Holly, Victoria, and Carol. Welcome into Meredith and Kendra. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I get really emotional when I read your names, and I'm really, really honored that I get to lead you and that you trust me to guide you. And I want to remind you, I am a Pinterest approved educator. There are literally 6 of us on the entire planet at this time, meaning that I'm not teaching you gimmicks. I'm not teaching you these quick flash in the pan strategies. This is a long standing proven strategy that I'm so honored. So here's what you guys are going to do. Emily, spend more time with my kids. Nina says, have a baby. I love this. Oh, Aisha says, I'm going to have a fun new hobby. Nancy, going to work on getting my health back now that I've kicked cancer's butt. Congratulations, Nancy. Stacy says, relax for once. Oh, I just love this. Melina says, spending my free time sewing, knitting, baking, and loving life. This is so beautiful. And so I just want you to start to imagine, like, what does this look like for you? I'm going to answer a few more questions and then I have something to show you. But Kate says, how is all of this traffic converting to income? So traffic, if you just think of traffic, traffic is eyeballs belonging to real human beings, right? They're not just numbers, it's real humans. When you are directing the traffic, think of yourself as somebody standing on the road saying, go this way, go this way. You want to connect that traffic to something that is tied to a real result. And this is what I help you start to see, because again, people get so caught up in vanity metrics that aren't actually doing anything. So traffic can convert into email subscribers, which are incredibly valuable. They can turn into sales. They can turn into leads. They can turn into consults. They can turn into collaborations. They can turn into ad opportunities with different agencies. They can turn into affiliate purchases. And so as you are holding out the traffic sign saying, go here, do this, this is how you start to think like a CEO, and you start to ask yourself, what is the step that I want somebody to take if they find this content? How do I create content that leads somebody down the path to purchasing, right? Can you start to see how when you create out of this well, it is much deeper than the well we likely create on when it comes to social media, but it is also so much richer because we are actually thinking about meeting people that we want to help, that we want to serve, that we want to sell to, where they are at, and literally guiding them on the path. It is such a different energetic exchange that I think so many of us deeply crave, but we've never been able to communicate that. And so I love how it's shifted the way that I create and the way that I get to show up in the world. Dominica says, would you say that creating pins that don't lead any place, just inspiration pins, I'm a graphic designer, is worth spending time on? Those are pins that perform much better on my Pinterest than selling pins. So I thought it might be a good way to increase my visibility, but maybe I'm hitting the wrong audience. So I would never personally create a pin that doesn't lead somewhere. Even inspiration pins can link to your general website, right? They're coming from you. If you're a graphic designer, that work is reflective of the type of work you could do for a client. So no matter what you're creating, you can create just for the sake of creating. One of my friends is an invitation designer, and I interviewed her on my podcast years ago, probably a decade ago. And I'll never forget, she talked about how she wasn't attracting her ideal audience. And so what she did is she created the dream invitations that she wanted to create more of. And she created like a Hogwarts style invitation suite. And she started posting it onto Pinterest. And guess what? She then started attracting the clients she wanted because her client work at the time wasn't exemplary of what she wanted to do. And so I would say, Dominica, don't create pins that are just inspiration. You can still link them to a destination that is meaningful, even if it is not like tied to a direct result. You're guiding people to you, and that matters. That makes a difference. And it's your work, so they want to connect to you, the artist. Brittany says, if we aim to create a digital product in the long term, does it still make sense to do this now to build a bigger following in the lead up to launching our digital product? Yes. Okay, here's why, Brittany. So with Pinterest, this is one of my favorite parts about Pinterest. Pinterest is basically a digital playground, okay? So you get to test out different ideas, different colors, different titles, different designs. You could literally use Pinterest just to figure out what people want and what to create. The research you could do on Pinterest alone can help you refine your ideas and create something that actually meets people where they're at. We have used Pinterest to test different ideas. I have ADHD. I am multi-passionate. I'm a manifesting generator. Like, I have so many ideas. They're just oozing out of my pores. And I have learned that I need to test these ideas out before I go too deep into something, investing my time, my creativity, my money into it. And so what we typically do is, if we have an idea, We will create an email freebie that is very aligned with that idea. We'll pop it up onto Pinterest and see what happens. And we get so much data and insights that are so wildly valuable in directing where the business is going, what type of content we're creating. It has saved me so much money. And it has saved me so much time in being able to test it out. And unlike other platforms, there is no risk to throwing spaghetti at the wall here, because all you're doing is collecting insights. Nobody is watching your feed to see every single post or seeing that, oh my gosh, nobody engaged with that. That's a flop. And so there's no microscope on your account like it feels like there is on social media. You're not standing on the stage naked. You're literally throwing spaghetti at the wall with a smile on your face because you're about to get meaningful data that will guide your business forward. Okay. Does that make sense? D says, can you create a pin that is directed to your Substack? Girl, you can create 10, 20, 30 pins that goes to each Substack post. I now know because I am writing on Substack. So absolutely, positively, yes, it is an amazing way to send people to that platform. I am going to welcome in the next group of students, and then I've got something I want to show you. So welcome in. And I hope you can just feel my love and respect emanating from you. I know that some of these names I'm about to read, you didn't feel ready, but you took a chance. And I want to honor that. I respect it so deeply. I want to remind you, you're not going to need this, but I'm going to tell you about it. You have a 30-day money back guarantee. Less than 1% of people refund. There is literally no risk at trying this out. I want every single person who felt something on this training to have the level of guts that these people that I'm about to name have. I am inviting you to join us. So welcome into Lucy and Becky. Welcome Remy and Melanie. Welcome into Tara and Julianne. Welcome Ginny and Wendy. Welcome Nicole, Cassandra, Sandra, Valerie. Welcome Inga. Welcome Autumn, Christina, Christy, Pri. Welcome into Carmen and Amy, Sheree and Mary. Welcome to Joan and Jen, Chelsea, Teresa, Carrie Ann, Lindsay, and Anissa. Welcome. I am so excited to lead you. If you are here with me now, hop on over to the Pinterestlab.com. Check out everything that is waiting for you. There are more bonuses that I couldn't even fit into this presentation in respect of time. We have packed this program with everything you need, but kept it as simple as possible so that you can actually follow through for once. Okay. The Pinterestlab.com. Now I've got something special to show you. You can take it from me, or you can take it from people who have actually done the work. Check this out right here.
I'm just going to straight up say I'm speechless and in shock.
If this is what she's sharing in her free training, what am I missing out on that's in the Pinterest lab?
She speaks to my brain in a way that it can actually understand.
We have a plan, we have a structure, we have a workbook.
You're missing out if you're not joining the Pinterest lab.
Definitely worth my money. Times 10.
Truthfully, the only thing that was really holding me back from going forward with the Pinterest lab was just that I didn't realize that it would work for my business.
Before Pinterest Lab, I was doing basically nothing with Pinterest. I had been saving favorite quotes and things. When I started Pinterest Lab, the last time I had touched it was 7 years prior.
I'm going to be honest, the reason I initially did not join the Pinterest lab is because I thought I already knew all the things. I was saying to myself, why would I pay for a training when I'm already getting all of it for free on YouTube?
I use Pinterest as a creative outlet, and I didn't really think about it as a source for traffic at all.
Before purchasing the Pinterest lab, I was really unsure about it. I didn't know if Pinterest would be worth my time, but I decided to really go forward with it, and I'm glad that I did.
I was burned out on Instagram, and I knew that Instagram wasn't going to be our pathway. If you are somebody who's self-motivated, self-directed, willing to show up and do this yourself, it is far going to pay for itself.
If you want to spend less time on social media and more time organically driving traffic to your business, Pinterest is the way to go.
Free training really hooked me in when Jenna shared a few nuggets or blind spots that I wasn't previously aware of, even after watching all of those YouTube trainings. And so I remember thinking to myself, if this is what she's sharing in her free training, what am I missing out on that's in the Pinterest lab that could be saving me time and getting me results and growth faster?
I was really blown away at how you can use Pinterest for so many different facets in your business. The strategy all kind of goes together and just creates way more momentum and gets more eyes on your business.
You're missing out if you're not joining the Pinterest lab and just learning about how Pinterest can work for your business. I spend about an hour and a half every 2 weeks or so. I batch my my pins, I schedule them out, and I don't need to worry about it.
When I found your course, it was a win-win. It was an opportunity to learn and explore, and I love that.
To me, it's all about support, and courses and Jenna are the beginnings of that support. And that's huge. I appreciate Jenna's teaching style. It's very organized. We have a plan, we have a structure, we have a workbook, we're going through modules, there's videos.
Sometimes there are online courses that can become very overwhelming for me, and I just feel like it's super hard to get the main information and apply it. Well, with Jenna's courses, that is not how it is for me. It's very simple. It's laid out in a way that my brain truly understands.
Her videos are just binge worthy. She cuts out the fluff so you can get through them faster and see a lot of progress.
Jenna shows you exactly how to do it. It's one of those things like once you learn the formula, I can repeat this. I know what works, what doesn't work on Pinterest now.
The lab is going to teach you how to grow your business with Pinterest as the most fun search engine experience where you and your customers will find each other.
It's been the best accountability tool for me to put content out there and to put strategic content out there that's going to drive traffic and drive business.
I love being a part of Jenna's Facebook group. It's nice to see other business owners that have totally different niches than what I have being successful. I have had way more views on my stuff. I've learned that I don't have to do double the work. I can share a lot of the content that I've already created, and now I feel like I have another tool to market my business.
Pinterest has led to different sales like art commissions or coaching clients. I've also been able to grow my email list. I tried Pinterest ads for the first time this year, and I referred back to the course, which made it less intimidating and less scary.
I went up by 19,000 impressions, 35,000 in audience, and I started to get my first clicks and saves.
I started from ground zero, full on brand new business account with one pin. I'm just going to straight up say I'm speechless and in shock. It took me 3.5 months to build 10,000 impressions. By 6 months, I hit 1 million impressions.
I'm now able to generate over 100K views a month on Pinterest, and this drives significant traffic to my website.
So when I started out, we were at like 0 views for my business account in Pinterest. When the peak, we were up to 1 million views.
Now, Pinterest is my #1 source of traffic.
If you share something on Pinterest and you do it right, your post can reach people for months or even years.
100% do it. It's worth it 1,000,000 times over.
It's an amazing course. I highly recommend you do it if you're looking for other ways to grow your business when you're not on social media.
She also updates the course when anything changes, which I really appreciate, just having that access to it.
Whether your business is service-based or product-based, if you have online content, you need to join the Pinterest Lab.
Even taking micro action steps on Pinterest makes a massive difference. Where I think that some other platforms, micro actions don't always push the needle as much. On Pinterest, even if you do 1 pin a day or reshare a pin, it does make a massive difference.
Just do it. Truly, this is one of the best investments I've made in my business.
Go for it. What do you have to lose? Just go for it.
Just dive in and do it.
Ooh, that gets me every time. Every time. I saw some amazing questions, so I want to answer. And I see Sherry is asking about how this could work for network marketing. So I want to start with that question there. So Pinterest is honestly such a good fit for network marketing. And here's why, because you are not having to chase people down in your DMs, or you're not like bugging your friends and family, right? Instead, you get to put out content that literally will attract people that are already searching for what you offer. Okay. So think about it this way. Let's say somebody hops onto Pinterest, a clean skincare routine. This is something that we literally do in my business as an affiliate, or it could be like easy meal prep or natural energy supplements, whatever aligns with the products that you are selling. So if you create pins around those specific topics, then you can link back to your blog post, to a landing page, to a sales page. Then those people are finding you. And so you didn't have to chase them. You're not having to like track them down. They are literally coming to you. And the best part is that, again, you have that longevity. So the pins you're creating are lasting for months. You're not starting over from scratch every single day after day. So essentially, it's like Pinterest is connecting you with people who are already searching for the type of thing that you're selling. So it can absolutely work in that context. And I just wanted to answer that question there. I saw another question, and it was about search engine. And so one thing that I want to talk about that I didn't have time in the actual training, The question was, I get that Pinterest is a search engine, not social media, but what does that actually mean? So one thing that most people do not realize, and this is why this is a double whammy, a no-brainer for business owners, is that Google actually loves Pinterest. So what do I mean here? Pinterest is a high authority domain, meaning they already have all the high authority that so many small business owners do not have yet, which means that Google sees Pinterest as a trusted source, and Google is constantly crawling Pinterest for resources. So when you create a pin and you're using keyword rich titles, which I'll show you how to do, and keyword rich descriptions, Google can read literally all of them and pull it into search results, which means that your pins are showing up in 2 search engines at the same time. So Pinterest and Google. No other platforms are playing like this together. And so if you are somebody who is trying to learn SEO, or if you're paying an SEO consultant hundreds and hundreds of dollars every month, this is your ticket out of that. And this is your ticket to gain SEO visibility, which is something that is so hard and so important for small business owners, while also leveraging Pinterest, right? Can you see how these two work together and how that is such a game changer, not only for your time, but for your money and for your marketing? Okay, let's hop into some more questions here. I'm going to put my slide back on if I can figure that out, just so you can see the URL should you need it. thepinterestlab.com. Okay. Let's see here. So Cami says, for some like me who have never used Pinterest nor know any tech, only a little, does the course include tech setup to get started? Girl, I've got you. I am the least tech savvy person. It is a miracle that I got my slide back up on this screen. Okay. Yes, I walk you through step by step by step. Now, here's the thing you need to know. It is not complicated, but it does need to be clear in the steps that you take. A lot of people set up their profiles wrong, or they don't choose the right profile type, or they're not leveraging the spaces in their profile in a way that actually works for a search engine because they're so used to social media. And so I literally walk you through click by click by click. Here's where do you click? Here's what you do. And a lot of the tech setup is just setting things up once and then letting it run. So there isn't a lot of tech involved in this process. If you can publish in this chat, you can absolutely publish on Pinterest. I have the utmost faith in you, and I will lead you as a non-techie girl myself. Joy asks, how quickly can sales be made? Trying to see if this class will pay for itself by helping me sell a product. Okay. So let me walk you through how I do math on things like this. So Joy, if you're on here, can you tell me in the chat, or anyone that's in the chat, let me know, what is your hourly rate? If I wanted to hire you, if I wanted to work with you, what is your hourly rate for 1 hour of work? Comment in the chat. Let me pull some numbers here so that I can show you what this looks like. Okay, Beth, $100. Okay. So with Beth, for $100, let's just say she incorporates this strategy. She just takes an hour of time that she's spending on some other marketing and pops it into Pinterest. Okay. Let's say that time and those efforts start to yield real results. And suddenly she just saves 1 hour a week. Okay. This is like so conservative. 1 hour a week times 4 weeks in a month. Beth is saving 4 hours a month. And again, this is like the most conservative way to look at this. Within 1 month, Beth has earned back the entire investment of this course, $397. She just got 4 hours back of her life that she can now invest into other clients, into other creative work, or into just living her life. So can you start to see the return on investment? When you learn something once and you follow through and you keep doing it over and over and over again, you get the compounding results. Another way to look at this is, let's say you sell something. Okay, I see that Joy has an ebook for $32. Joy, can you see the strategy working for you where it can help you sell 1.1 ebooks per month? Okay, I'm rounding up so we can get to $39 a month. If you think that this strategy can help you sell just 1 ebook a month, then this is absolutely worth it. And guess what? In 12 months, then everything you make beyond that is extra. Just 1 ebook. I'm pretty confident in that, right? If you are confident in that, then you can see that this is a brilliant ROI. You can get started for just $39 a month. Now, what happens is a lot of times we don't recognize that we are investing, right? We are trading our time on strategies and things that are not working, that are not giving results, and we are spending our time. And a lot of times we just look at money. For me, I will always choose to spend money to get back my time, to get back my life, right? Now, there are going to be some of you on here where it is not the right time. It is not the right offer. This is not within your budget. I do not want you to feel any ounce of guilt or shame. Guilt and shame never move us closer to the life we want. Okay. And so if that is you, I want you to know I see you. I'm excited for you. I hope that you put what you learned today into action, and I know that you will be successful. Okay. But if you can see that this is a path and that you can be guided down that path, and this path can save you time, get your work found, and drive real results for you, all you have to do is connect the dots to see how quickly you could earn back your investment, right? And the cool thing that I love about this is that I am the person, I have taken so many online courses. I attribute online education to changing my life, changing my business. So much of what I've built has been off of learning knowledge from other people that I've invested in, right? But what I love so much about knowledge is you can pay once and you can reap the rewards over and over and over again. This system, it takes 4 hours to learn it. 4 hours. You have already been with me for 90 minutes. Okay. You could already be a third of the way through the entire course. You could get off of this call right now and you could be through part of the course in the time that you spent with me. You are not that far away from learning this entire strategy, and you are only 1 hour a week away from implementing it. I am not asking for a lot. This does not take a lot of time. It does not take a lot of time to get traction. It does not take a lot of time to implement. And so I just want you to start to look at the cost, not only from the expense, but also the expense of your precious time. Okay. Because where your time is going right now, if it is not leading you to real results, I would argue that it is time wasted. And I do not want any of us wasting even a single minute of our precious lives. Right. And so I want us to be people that look at time as our currency, and we start holding up the value of how much our time is actually costing us and how much it is worth. And so I hope that answers your question. Okay, next question here. Let's see here. So Allison asks, will this be helpful if I'm already getting over 70,000 monthly views? I feel like I need a lot of retweaking. I feel like in the way that you asked that question, Allison, you already have a knowing that maybe you're not doing the right strategy. You have a foundation, right? You have proof that there's traction on the platform, but that proof might be stopping at the vanity metric and not leading to a real result. And I just want to remind you, you have a 30-day money back guarantee. Get in there and see if this is what you need. I would love to help you tweak your strategy, but just the way you asked that question, I feel like you already know the answer. And it just reminds me of how so often we feel something in our gut, or we feel something and we're like, I see this, I get it, I want this, but there is something holding us back. And fear is real, right? Like fear is a real part of our lives. And it is natural to be hesitant to spend money on something if you've maybe done this in the past and it hasn't worked for you. But I just want you to know that this is a strategy that is tried, that is true, that is tested. I'm approved to teach this information, and I am so proud of what we've created. And I also want to remind you that, like, let's say you were to hire me as your own personal strategist for Pinterest, you would be spending a heck of a lot more money on this course. And you get this AI Pin Pal as a part of the program, where you will have access to me, my content, my IP, the way that I use Pinterest internally, all the strategies I teach inside of the program. All of it is there for you, no matter what time of day you're implementing. So whether you want to learn the content at breakneck speed or just have help applying it every single week, this tool alone is well worth the cost of the course. Well worth it. And I see so many people charging thousands of dollars for their AI strategist or charging monthly renewal fees. We are doing neither of that because we want you to be successful. I am a success when you are a success, and your success is getting back your time, getting back your life. And I want to be a part of that. I want to be a part of the story of your life where you find joy, where you find time, where you get to spend it in meaningful ways that you want to. I think so many people enter into entrepreneurship with this dream of freedom, and yet they create businesses and they're using strategies that feel anything but free. And I want to show you that there is a different way where you don't have to perform for your paychecks and where your work can work for you. And that is literally at the heart of this. If you are ready to join me inside thepinterestlab.com, I'm seeing more questions dropping in, but really quick, I want to welcome in some new students. Wow, we still have hundreds of you on here. Welcome into Lori and Natalia. Welcome to Camille and Allison, Jacqueline and Barbara. Welcome Gretchen, Ingrid, Indrid, Sheena, Grace, Amber, Marie Eve. Welcome to Paula and Kelly, Lisa and Christelle. Welcome to Sierra, Kelly, Kim, Marcella. Welcome to Adrian, Corey, Shannon, Shauna, and Brittany. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so happy that you are in, and I can't wait to get to know you in my community. Amy says, I'm a total novice with social media engagement, but let's see here, CA not-for-profit that I chair has tons of content. However, we need to increase our engagement and donations. Have other nonprofits been successful using your strategies? Do you have pin pals that are for non-for-profit based? So pin pal is going to work the same no matter what. You tell it what the goal is, and then it's going to help you. I actually recently just became a member of the board of directors of our local soup kitchen. And so I'm getting really active in the nonprofit space and learning how this works. And this can absolutely work. The thing that can also help is it shifts the way that you create. So these nonprofits can be creating helpful resources and information that spread the word about their mission and how it's supporting local communities, and also bring in new donors. So it shifts the way you create. So you create from a more helpful well, but it also can help boost your exposure. So absolutely. And I feel like there's a huge movement in social causes and in just like an awakening of like, how can we all be a part of something bigger than ourselves? And so I love seeing nonprofits get active on a platform like Pinterest. Amber says, if someone is starting new from scratch, does this course help, or do I need to know what kind of business I want to build? So if I were going to start on this platform and I had some maybe ideas in mind or some inspiration, I would just start creating with the strategy in mind to collect insights and data. Think of it as like a grand experiment where you are spending 1 hour a week dreaming up what you want to create or how you want to show up in the world, and seeing what sticks and seeing what people click on. It can help guide you so that you're creating the right things that actually have demand, right? And you're creating from a well of like, let's just see what happens. I think one of the royal and grave mistakes that so many entrepreneurs make is they stop experimenting. They stop trying new things. And I love Pinterest because it literally feels like a playground. So I would say that it'd be helpful to know some sort of direction of what you want to go or what type of content you want to create. But even just learning how to look at Pinterest strategically can help you start to see where you're moving. And here's one thing I love about Pinterest. I never feel worse about myself or my life when I go on the platform. I'm talking about doom scrolling. Doom scrolling does not exist on the platform. Spending time on that platform leaves me feeling inspired. It leaves me feeling excited. It leaves me feeling like extra oomph in my life. And so it's just such a beautiful experience to even just be on the platform. And when you start looking at it strategically, it might help guide you to connect the dots of what you want to create next. Nancy asks, do you think you could get rid of all other social media with this? I loathe Meta and would really love to be all in. So I am someone who is feeling the same way as you. And I've been actually doing a lot of research in my free time, because yes, I have free time, just about how the algorithms are set up. And I've just been very curious about like how divisive the platforms are in terms of keeping people scrolling and keeping people addicted. I just have a lot of curiosity around that. And so I definitely think that this could be a part of the path. I did an interview with an amazing woman on my podcast, and we talked about how she totally quit social media just leveraging SEO. And as we know, Pinterest is a search engine with search engine optimization, also feeds into Google. So it is absolutely possible. And there is a path forward on that. And I will also say that I have stopped using Meta to do a ton of promotion. And I've just really focused my content on like advocacy and inspiration. And it's been beautiful, and it hasn't tanked my results. And I feel like our traffic flow is very consistent because of the system we've set up on Pinterest. Let's see here. Jenna says, does this course contain everything we need, or is there another paywall to a higher tier? No, this is it. We're not upselling you into another Pinterest mastery course. This is the whole strategy from start to finish. There is one opportunity if you want to use a scheduler that we use, which is called Tailwind. It is absolutely not necessary. We show you the strategy using it and not using it, walk through the benefits of it, and it is a pretty low monthly rate, and it does save a lot of time. But there isn't a bunch of extra things that you need to do or purchase in order to be successful on the platform. The fast action bonus is the pin templates. So all of the pins that you saw in our presentation were created using these templates. You get them for free when you join while we are still on. I'm going to stay on for just a few more minutes. So if you are hovering, I want to remind you, 30-day money back guarantee, less than 1% of people refund this program. ThePinterestLab.com. Jump on and snag those templates. I promise you they are so good and so valuable, and I want you to have them and jump on in. Okay. Aisha says, I'm wondering if my ideal client, who is a stay-at-home mom and military spouse, would think to look on Pinterest for a stay-at-home job. I have a course to teach them how to be a real estate transaction coordinator. That's amazing. And start their own business from home. Yes, yes, and yes. So moms and military spouses absolutely are on the platform. And there are so many people that are looking for part-time work from home jobs. So 1000%, I have zero hesitancy in that answer. Sheena says, can this work if you're a brand new entrepreneur? You don't know what you'll do or sell. I hope that my answer to the question that I answered for Amber answered your question as well, Sheena. But yes, I do think that there's a way to use this to gain insight and also to start building up traffic so that when you have a place to send that traffic, you just change that destination out and people are landing where you want them to land. Kimberly says, can I use the Pinterest Lab for more than one of my businesses? I have a couple. Yes. Okay. So here's what's so amazing about Pinterest. Unlike the other platforms, I feel like the other platforms make you feel like you've got to get into a box, right? Like you need to stay super specific, super niche. I am not that girl, right? I do not want to be put into a box. I am so multi-passionate. I am so multi-hyphenate. I do not want to do one thing. What I love about Pinterest is you can absolutely have multiple passions on there and it's not confusing. There's a beautiful thing called Pinterest boards, and those separate all of your passions and interests and your content types so that everything is organized. Think of it like a dresser and a chest of drawers. Each board is like a drawer containing all of the content for that thing. And so you can absolutely use it for multiple businesses, multiple business types, and we walk you through what that can look like. All right. Before we hop off, I want to welcome in Amy, Christine, Carolyn, and Jasmine. Welcome in Vandy, Cheryl, Holly, and Joy. I'm so excited to see your names. Welcome into Lori and Kelly, Agatha and Kristen, Isabel, Tara, Sandy, Mary Beth, and Amber. Welcome to Christy, Shanna, Beth, Jenna, Jamie, and Sarah. I can literally see my team typing in each of your names manually. I am so excited. Welcome to Dre. I see you in the chat here. I am so, so, so excited for you. So here's my final call to action with this. So I was talking to my friend Kate. We both love Pinterest. And she said this analogy that really stuck with me. She said, being on social media these days feels like standing in a crowded bar, right? Everybody is loud. It is noisy. You have to dress fancy to be seen, and nobody remembers what you said or did the next day. Being on Pinterest is like being in a quiet library where somebody walks up with a request and you get to hand them exactly what they need with confidence. For me, in my life right now, this is the stage of life I want to be in. I want the quiet library. I want work that works for me. I want to serve and make a difference. I want the things that I do to do what they are meant to do. Right now, so many of you are stuck with Pareto's principle taking away your time. Meaning you are spending 90% of your time constantly creating new content and only 10% of your time promoting it. This course, this program, this strategy is going to flip it so that you can spend 10% of your time creating and 90% of your time will be spent promoting. And all of that can be done on autopilot. When you learn this system and strategy, you can literally log into Pinterest one time a week, sit down, schedule out your pins, and log off. You do not need to be on every day. You do not need to perform every day. You do not need to engage every day. You do not need to read bad comments every day. This is your opportunity to create something that you can truly set and forget. And I think that this is the lifeline that so many people need and didn't know existed. So now you are here. You know it exists. You've seen the other path. The choice is yours. And I hope that you choose to join me. I would love nothing more than to lead you through this strategy. Jump on in, thepinterestlab.com. I would absolutely love to guide you through this. I'm going to give you one more minute to log on in and to sign up. I know there are a few of you that are very last minute and waiting until the very end. And so this is your chance. Thank you so much for spending your precious time with me. Thank you for learning a new way. Thank you for being open about a new strategy. Thank you for considering how this could work into your life. Thank you for dreaming of what it would look like if your work was working for you. Thank you for imagining the impact that your work can make. And thank you so much for being in community with me. I'm so grateful to spend this time with you. I hope to see you inside of the Pinterest Lab, thepinterestlab.com. The offer is waiting for you. I'd love to have you inside. And I hope that you have a beautiful, beautiful day. And I hope that our paths cross again super soon. I'll talk to you.